Shalom. How are you? Shabbat morning.
Happy holiday.
We're doing a reading. Yeah, wrote me a note. No, it's a reading. Yeah.
Wait,
Make like 10 trips.
We are not going.
so you
No.
going to do something?
Oh, yeah, the airport.
And another thing that's
What?
your cane, it fell down and thank you. She's raising cane.
She's raising the cake.
Do you want to have a party? I don't have to.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so nice to be able to see you here in person, to be able to gather with you all in person. I think this is a Shehechianu moment for us, so I invite you to join together as we say, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shehechianu B'kiyamanu B'hinyanu B'azman Hazeh. So much has changed, and so much stays the same. And they say the only constant in life is change. We did not anticipate that when we said we would start coming back together at 7:30 for services with a limited in-person congregation, and we would still be live streaming, and we are live streaming, and we welcome those of you who are watching us on the live stream through our live stream webpage or through Facebook or YouTube, and we wish you a Shabbat Shalom as well. We did not anticipate that we would also see a change so rapidly in the CDC guidelines, and that our own protocols would turn around so that we can see each other and be with each other without masks on and feel safe and feel secure. And for those who still want to be masked and feel that it's appropriate to be masked, that you can do that too. And so we welcome, and we have many times on our Zoom services recited the blessing of faces, but this is truly the blessing of faces as we look around and see one another. How good it is to be able to see one another, how good it is to be together and to dwell together, whether we are together through distance and through technology, whether we are together because we are here together. Let us sing on page 10, Hine Matov Umanayim, how good and how pleasant that we dwell together.
Hine Matov Umanayim, Shebetachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevetachim gam yahad. Hine matov umanayim shevetachim gam yahad. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum, Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevetachim gam yahad. Hine matov umanayim shevetachim gam yahad. Shevetachim gam yahad.
And I'd like to invite Gail to come forward, offer a reading for us, and then to lead us in the lighting of our Shabbat candles on page 2.
Two mothers, one plea. Now more than ever during these days of so much crying, on the day that is sacred to both our religions, Friday, Sabbath Eve, let us light a candle in every home for peace, a candle to illuminate our future face to face, a candle across borders beyond fear, from our family homes and houses of worship. Let us light each other up. Let these candles be a lighthouse to our spirit until we all arrive at the sanctuary of peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
On page 5, we continue with the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava ufratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit hilu yom tefillah l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki anu b'chata yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava u'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. On page 278, we have the opportunity to count the Omer together as a community one last time before our celebration of Shavuot, which, by the way, is on Sunday evening at 5:30. The information is in our Shabbat connection and also in the e-scroll on Thursday. Please, it's not too late to register. You can come and have fantastic opportunity to study with one of 8 rabbis from the Pinellas community. So we got lots of opportunities for you with all sorts of different things about the original Zoom room. The original Zoom room, okay? The Shavuot experience, which means all of us will be on Zoom, and it's all about what happened on Shavuot or what happened on Sinai. Different takes, all different ideas. So I hope you'll join us. So take a look at how to register for that. It's really easy, and you can even just show up on Sunday and register immediately and come and join us. On 278, counting the Omer. Today is the 48th day of the Omer. Join me, please, in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. So we fill in the days Hayom Arba'im U'Shmona. So Hayom Arba'im U'Shmona, Yom Shehem Shisha Shavuot V'Shisha Yamim LaOmer. Today is the 48th day, which is 6 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And then on Saturday night, Sunday, it'll be 49 days, so 7 full weeks, leading us to Shavuot on Sunday night. Shavuot Yizkor services, by the way, are 10 a.m. on Monday morning, in combination with Temple Beth-El Israel. L'chadodi on page 20, verses 1, 2, and 9. On the 9th verse, we rise, we turn and face our entryway, which tonight is in this direction. On the 9th verse. on the 9th verse. That's okay. I'm glad you're passionate and eager, Gail.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. La 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 lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmi'anu elam yuhad, Adonai echad u'shamo echad, L'shem v'tiferet v'lit la 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 ha la ha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. L'cha l'ha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hi mekor habrava, mirosh mikeden nesucha, sofon asar b'mak Shabbat tehi la 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 lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Please rise. Oiv v'shalom ateret b'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'zola, b'tov emunei am segula, boi Allah, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. La 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 lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabala.
Please be seated, continuing on page 24.
Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Chamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Chamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyonim, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
Yitzkadah v'yitzkadah Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amad yifrach yirteh ve'amlik malchuteh. V'chayechol yom echol u'chayechol chol beit Yisrael. Agala ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ari v'aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. מעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamari V'Aravim. We continue with Open Up Our Eyes on page 373, leads directly into the Shema, back on page 34.
Open up
Please be seated. Page 36. Page 40, our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha. Continuing now on page 43, on the left side of the page, from Noah Aronson's collection called The Left Side of the Page, Let There Be Love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu, Shalom. V'hamidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. page 44.
We rise for Tefillah, page 46, and following on the even-numbered pages. Page 45.
A thought has blown the marketplace of faith. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and
והחיות הכל. אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש השם הקדוש, קדושים בו יום ילדוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. It's not hard to remember this day, May 14th. Not only is it our eldest son's birthday, happy birthday, Gideon. Thanks, David. Our birthday caller extraordinaire, thank you, David. But it's also the English date of Israel's birthday. And so while it's not Yom HaAtzmaut today, it's the day in which the English date of the signing of the Declaration of Independence for Israel. And so even if there weren't all that is going on in Israel, it would be an appropriate night to reflect and spend a few moments thinking about the Jewish homeland. But let me start with Harry Potter. In the Deathly Hallows, one of the most memorable pieces of dialogue is simple and yet elegant. After Dobby the elf was buried, they return to the house and Harry says, "I need to speak to the goblin." And Bill takes them all upstairs and they walk into the room where Griphook sat. And Harry asks the goblin, "How are you?" "Alive," he responded. "You probably don't remember," and Harry cut him off saying, "that you showed me to my vault the first time I was at Gringotts." And Griphook then interrupted him, "Even amongst goblins, you're famous, Harry Potter. How did you come across the sword of Gryffindor?" "It's complicated," Harry answered vaguely. "Why did Bellatrix Lestrange think it should be in her vault?" The goblin simply said, "It's complicated." When I'm asked to speak about what is happening in Israel, or to comment on current events there, or to explain the struggle between Israel and the Palestinians, or push to condemn outright the missiles and the rockets, the terrorists and the deaths of innocents on all sides, it is this dialogue that springs into my mind. It's complicated. There are no simple answers. There are no simple stances to take. We are Ohavei Yisrael, lovers of Israel, our homeland, our hope, a place we have longed for over thousands of years. And we feel anger and pain and shed tears when attacks come from Hamas, a terrorist organization that cares not for the Palestinian people it claims to represent, but whose only reason for existing is to destroy Israel and create a dictatorial, violent, and corrupt autocratic regime in its place. But we also feel pain and shed tears when Israel's inalienable right to defend herself results in the death or injury of non-combatants, especially some women and children. But I do not blame Israel for that, I blame Hamas. Would that it were only that simple, a simple struggle between good and evil, the righteous Israel and the wicked, sinful Hamas. But when we watch the news, even the admittedly biased Western media, we can see that there is so much more. It's so very complicated. When Israeli citizens, Arabs and Jews turn on each other in rage and violence, after having lived peacefully side by side in Haifa in Lod, in Yafo for decades, it gets complicated. When Palestinians amass stones and fireworks and Molotov cocktails and hide them inside Al-Aqsa Mosque, and intelligence reports indicate a growing number of unruly youth gathering on the Temple Mount and going inside the mosque, numbers far exceeding the usual gatherings for prayer, turning one of Islam's holiest sites into a staging ground for unrest, and the Israeli police are faced with a catch-22 decision about whether or not to take action, it gets complicated. When frustration over years of inequity, racial profiling, oppressive occupation, and conflict with right-wing settlers becomes a tinderbox waiting for the match to be struck, and the rockets and missiles provide the spark to create the inferno that follows, it gets complicated. When Hamas threatens thousands of leaders and soldiers will follow in their footsteps, and then the Prime Minister of Israel says we will inflict blows on them that they have never dreamed of, it gets complicated. So I struggle to find clarity this week. The complications are so many. On the one hand, my duty and obligation is clear. I stand with Israel. We stand with Israel. Terrorism can be given no quarter. Hamas only understands the response of overwhelming firepower. And until they experience overwhelming death and destruction once again in Gaza, they will not seek a ceasefire. And even then, it will take much restraint on Israel's part to make that ceasefire workable. On the other hand, what can my words here do? I'm filled with heartbreak and my eyes are filled with tears. Can I bring more light or only more heat if I enter fully into the debate of detailed concerns of morality and ethics, of Palestinian and Israeli actions which are measured on all sides of the moral compass? Our hearts break for all who have worked there toward justice and peace and coexistence. The actions and inactions of governments and extremists are pushing justice and peace and coexistence further and further out of the realm of possibility. So perhaps it is best to listen to the words of poets and liturgists, lovers of Zion and Israelis and Palestinians, to Arabs and Jews. Their words have an authenticity and a power that reaches deeply within our souls. I'm sure many of you, like me, have read the account of a young Palestinian man feeling trapped between a quick death and a slow one. The stories of bereaved parents, poignant descriptions of blockades and the enormous challenges of parenthood and the fears for loss of childhood. Permit me and those of you who've been asked to read to share different voices, the voices of prayer and poetic verse, that their words may become our own. From Rabbi Jordan Browning. It is possible to pray for peace. Our prayer life need not know our boundaries, no green lines, no dashes, no subtle demarcations. Our longings can transcend our political ideologies, cut across our keen analyses. Earnestness, cast out of our public discourse, still has a place in the language of our hearts. We have the capacity to pray for the old couple crouched in their stairwell in Ashkelon and the terrified child in his pajamas in Gaza. We can spread our prayer like a tattered shawl, like a billowing canopy, like a sparkling firmament over the tired shoulders of these and across the narrow fences of those. We are not naive, not cowards, nor traitors to pray for peace. We are told to get in line, to stand with them, or to stand with the other, but we pray to a Holy One who resides in the space between, diminished by their missiles, laid low by their rockets, exhausted, but still listening for our prayers. Can you come up? I'd like you coming so that everybody can hear. Thank you. Thanks, Mickey.
O you children of Abraham, you sons and daughters of Sarah and Hagar, what will you become? How long before shalom and salam echo in these hills, in these valleys and on the shores, as shouts of awe and amazement? How long before we remember to hold each other dear? One God, maker of all, banish war from our midst. Speedily bring forth justice, understanding, and love. Bind these wounds and heal our hearts. On that day, the children of Ishmael and the children of Isaac will dance as one. Joy will rise to heaven, and gladness will fill the earth.
Thank you. And that was a poem by Alvin Soloway. From Psalm 122 we read, Yerushalayim habenuyah ki ir shechuvra lo la yachdav. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim yishlahu ohavayich yihi shalom b'chelech shalva b'armonotayich. Jerusalem, build up a city knit together as one. Let us pray for the peace and well-being of Jerusalem. May all those who love you be at peace. May there be well-being in your ramparts, peace and wholeness in your citadels. May Jerusalem, whose very name means Ir Shal Shalom, the city of peace, truly become a peaceful city again, speedily and without any more blood being shed. Our next reader is Not the One, the poem by Yehuda Amichai.
Not the one of an armistice, not even the one of the vision of wolf and lamb, but as in your heart after an excitement. No talk, only of a great weariness. To talk, only of a great weariness. I know that I know how to kill. I am grown up, and my son plays with a toy gun that knows how to open and close its eyes and say, Mama. Peace without the commotion of turning swords into plowshares, without words, without the sound of heavy seals. Let it be light on top, like lazy white foam. Rest for the wounds, not even healing. And the scream of orphans, then passed on from one generation to another. As in a relay race, the baton won't fall. Let it be like wildflowers, suddenly, an imperative of the field, wild peace.
And finally, our last poem is a prayer of the Mothers for Life and Peace, co-authored by Rabbi Tamar Elad Applebaum and Sheikha Ibtisam Mahamid.
God of life, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, may it be your will to hear the prayer of mothers, for you did not create us to kill each other, nor to live in fear, anger, or hatred in your world, but rather you have created us so we can grant permission to one another to sanctify your name of life, your name of peace in this world. For those things I weep. My eye runs down with water for our children crying at nights, for parents holding their children with despair and darkness in their hearts, for a gate that is closing, and who will open it while day has not yet dawned. And with my tears and prayers which I pray, and with the tears of all women who deeply feel the pain of these difficult days, I raise my hands to you. Please, God, have mercy on us. Hear our voice that we shall not despair, that we shall see life in each other, that we shall have mercy for each other, that we shall have pity for each other, that we shall have hope for each other. Thank you.
And finally, the smoke has not cleared. Prayer for peace by Hila Ratzabi. God, who makes peace in heaven, make peace for us now here on earth, because we can't do it alone and we have lost our way. Our eyes clouded by rocket fire, our faces smeared with belief in you. You, God, who would never direct us to defile your name, your earth, your children. You, God, who does not divvy our land, who instructs us in love, who gives visions of peace. God, make peace for us now, because we've tarnished the words you placed upon our hearts. We've twisted faith into fighting, into fire. We've wasted precious life after life. Make it end, because we can't seem to stop ourselves from one last act of retaliation, one last war, one last argument to win. Make peace. Make peace here on earth right now. Peace for us, peace for Israel, peace for all people on earth. Lift us up, lay us down, hold us in our grief. Quiet the trembling earth, quiet our trembling hearts. Make peace for us right now, because we can't do this alone. Because parents are grieving, and the land is ravaged, and the smoke has not cleared.
Oh, say shalom, oh, say shalom, oh, yeah, say shalom, shalom aleinu.
I invite you to turn to page 294 as we participate in the mitzvah of memory. And we remember remember loved ones who have died in recent days and weeks, and those who yard sites are observed on this Shabbat and in the week ahead. We remember the recently departed Pearl Wallach, a longtime member of our congregation, mother of Francine Palovitz, Shelley Lackman, Alan Resnick, Kareem Dunn, and Mara Abrams, and Harold Louis Yedvab, brother of Eleanor Whiteside. A reminder that the memorial service for in Harold's memory takes place this Sunday afternoon. On this Shabbat, we remember Rose Bass, Teresa Baum, Beatrice Brody, Donald Burnett, Stanley Michael Kaplan, Adele Cohen, Samuel Cohen, Felix Dreyfus, Myron Drockman, Madeline Duchan, Elizabeth Edmonds, Robert Efron, Monica Deedon Fisher, Yetta Footnick, Herman Graham, Samuel Green, Samuel Holder, Marla Kaufman, Jeffrey Kramer, Louis Latz, Morris Lipinski Jr., Florence Littman, Gilda Mitchum, William Miner, Stanley Nash, Gussie Person, Patricia K. Shavlin, Regina Siegel, Neil Steele, Abraham Storensis, Clifton Wheel, Henry Wind, Sharkey Wolf, and Yetta Wolf. And I would invite anybody who is here and saying Kaddish for someone, a period of mourning or a yard site that I did not read out aloud, and would like to stand and share that name aloud, I would invite you to do so at this time. And if you are observing a yard site and would like to share that name on the Facebook chat, I would invite you to do so as well, to participate in the mitzvah of memory. And let us include in our prayers of memory also all those who have been killed in the recent hostilities in Israel. May all those who have died, may their lives be for our blessing. Zichronam Libracha. Let us all rise in solidarity with those who mourn here and across the world. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah. B'yamad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayei chon v'yomei chon b'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael b'agala b'zman karib v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam olamei almaya yitbarach v'yishavach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'reichu le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yoma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Please be seated, and I'd like to ask Mike Shapiro, our president-elect, to share a few brief announcements. Congregation.
Shabbat Shalom. I want to echo Rabbi Torp's comments from the beginning. It really is great to gather with everyone here tonight. And I just want to take a moment to kind of soak it in and see a lot of familiar and friendly faces. It really It's just like coming home tonight for me. So it's really great to be here. And I want to encourage folks who are watching either on Zoom or through the live stream to come next week. It's nice. I'm sitting over here and listening to the music and the prayers and looking up at the sky and the clouds, and it's a beautiful setting. and I really encourage folks to come. And for those who are here, thank you for being here tonight. And one more time, it's great to see everybody.
Registration's open for all services.
You know, that's one of the announcements I'm supposed to read about. We'll get there. I want to thank Rabbi Torp and Joyce and Nina. Again, you guys are always great. And all the service readers, thank you for helping us tonight. So let's see what goodies they have for us tonight. No, I did welcome you back, so we can skip that one. Here we go. We have released registration for all available in-person services for May and June at www.templebethel.com/in-person services. You can register for all these services, go to the website. We are limiting numbers of people still, so please sign up early and often. We also have dates available to schedule your chat with Rabbi Torp as he transitions to our Rabbi Emeritus. He'll be with us till the end of June. So you can schedule your individual or group session with Rabbi at templebeth-el.com/chats. Okay. So please take advantage of that. I know Rabbi would love to hear from you guys. This Sunday, don't forget to join the Pinellas County Jewish community leaders for the original Zoom and Shavuot experience online on Sunday, May 16, starting at 5 p.m. Multiple learning and discussion sessions with the area's top Jewish leaders is open for registration at, here we go, www.templebeth-el.com/Shavuot. For those who don't want to do the Shavuot experience, Lightning also begin their playoff that night, public service. Finally, don't forget to check the events page on the website and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay connected. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thanks, Mike. We're going to finish with Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, which you can find on page 353, the bottom of the page. Let's rise, let's sing, let's celebrate.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Salam Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'akol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'akulam. Shabbat shalom, guys.
Shabbat shalom.
It's so good to see you all. So wonderful.